see, is it money or is me?
What's going on, everyone? This is Zach with StrictlyShisha. I'm repping my new Alchemist shirt. And Angela must have thought I look like Vin Diesel in real life, or the camera adds about 10 pounds because this shirt is huge. But it's pretty cool to be wearing this shirt on my first official review of the released version of Alchemist tobacco. So all my other reviews before were on samples, and it's cool to see in its market packaging. So this is the official packaging that you guys will get at home. Reminds me of a Ben & Jerry's tub. When I first sent it to me, I was like, what did they send me, some food or something? And then I realized it was actually tobacco. So the cut on this release version is a little bit different from what I remember the samples to be like. This is a little bit darker in color and a little bit larger chop to it. Pretty much the same amount of juice and very little stems. And if you guys remember my first review of Alchemist tobacco, there was a lot of stems, and they quickly took care of that, and they got rid of some of the stems. But it does look a little bit different, but it's not affect my smoking at all. So the flavor I'm talking about today, it is Russian Mule by Alchemist Tobacco. And you guys know by now that this is a tobacco that's aged in bourbon barrels, and that's supposed to help enhance the flavors and change your experience in compared to other tobaccos that are on the market. So this flavor, Russian Mule, this is gonna be a super weird review because this smell is interesting. Let's see. So the first thing that comes to nose is definitely a mint aspect of there. Definitely some cooling to this. I smell some citrus in this. And now the weird thing. I've taken a census on this and seeing what everyone thought about this before I told them on the flavor. And everyone I've asked says this smells like chocolate. One person even said this smells like those smelly markers, you know, the ones that have like weird scents. And there's a chocolate one that's always this artificial weird chocolate smell. That's what I get from this. And that's super weird for a Russian Mule. Moscow Mules, I'm very familiar with those as a bartender. I make Moscow Mules. They're one of my favorite drinks. It has a ginger beer in it, which has a nice, strong, spicy ginger in there. You do have some lemon or lime citrus to cut that flavor. And then you do have a vodka. And some people put a little bit of mint in there and a few other things to make twists. I know this is a twist version. It does have some raspberry in it. I've had a strawberry Moscow Mule. But this does not smell like a Moscow Mule. So let's see how it actually translates to the smoke. Cloud output on this flavor is very nice, and in my experience with Alchemist tobacco, I get the best experience in a little bit of higher heat environment. This stuff takes heat pretty well and get really good clouds when it's packed up to the rim. And I'm smoking this at the new released version of the Cloud Samsars Vitria, the one that supposedly fits the Lotus a lot better. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a sneak preview. This does fit the Lotus a lot better. Have this packed all the way up to the ridge where the Lotus actually sits. I'm using 3 Dashini flats in here, and it's performing very well. Let's talk about the taste on this, because I thought the actual smell kind of missed the mark in terms of what I would expect from a Moscow or Russian or any sort of mule in general that has that ginger aspect to it. So let me take one more hit just to remind myself. Okay, so when this first was warming up, I definitely got that chocolate that I was smelling. It did translate to the smoke. And it was kind of a weird smell because you got that citrus in there. I got what I think is a raspberry, but you get this chocolate that kind of like muddles the flavor a little bit and takes away from what I thought the mule was supposed to be like. But oddly enough, I actually like it. I don't say this is a Moscow Mule or a Russian Mule or any sort of play on that. I see some influence in there, maybe some inspiration by the drink, but how it translates, I don't get that at all. That chocolate is very overpowering in the beginning, but as the session starts to progress, and this is in all my test sessions, once you've heated it up and you get to like the 20-30 minute mark, that chocolate aspect does die down and you're left with a citrusy zing. You get a little bit of, I guess, creaminess. And I almost think that's attributed to the aging in bourbon barrels. That same like sweetness that I get in all the flavors, that like lingering aftertaste, is what I'm getting in this. And that kind of smooths it out. So kind of a creamy kind of taste to it. I don't really get much ginger at all. There's not much spice in this. Doesn't smoke warm, and you do get that cooling mint in there, which makes it a really pleasurable smoke. I don't think they really hit the mark on this in terms of the flavor, but I like this. I've smoked like 6 or 7 bowls of this. I don't care what it says on the label. It's a very interesting and complex smoke, and I like the way it tastes. So in terms of the Russian Mule aspect of it, that name just confuses me, but the flavor itself is quite interesting. And now Alchemist tobacco is available from a lot of your favorite vendors. I know 5 Star carries it now. I think Hookah-Shisha carries it. I think the Hookah Company carries it. So a lot of new vendors are carrying this product and has become a lot more popular on the market. And just to say a few things that people were concerned about this brand as a whole, a lot of people mentioned getting headaches smoking Alchemist tobacco. Personally, I've not experienced this at all, but I have friends who smoke particular tobaccos and they do get headaches. So I think it's probably a person-to-person basis. Like I have a friend, one of my best friends, Samir, he smokes Pure and he always gets a headache. I have another friend who smokes Starbucks, always gets a headache. So definitely try this out. Don't be afraid of the whole headache aspect or whatever. I think this stuff is really good quality. This particular flavor, the naming didn't really match the representation of the smoke, but I do like the way it tastes and it performs really well. I don't really get much of a buzz from it, but it's an overall pretty good experience. So thank you Alchemist Tobacco for sending me out this pretty cool shirt that I hope to wear in the rest of my reviews, and this flavor to try out and convey to you guys, my viewers, what I think about it. You guys definitely check it out from your favorite vendor if you want to pick it up. I know I will probably be ordering some more, and I will keep my reviews coming on Alchemist Tobacco. My goal is to do 2 flavors from Alchemist every month, along with my Tangiers and other reviews that I always do. You guys have a wonderful evening, and thank you as always for watching. Take care, guys.
Hey, I got a Glock in my Rari.